The music of Latin America refers to music originating from Latin America, namely the Romance-speaking countries and territories of the Americas and the Caribbean south of the United States. Latin American music also incorporates African music from slaves who were transported to the Americas by European settlers, as well as music from the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Due to its highly syncretic nature, Latin American music encompasses a wide variety of styles, including influential genres such as son, rumba, salsa, merengue, tango, samba and bossa nova. During the 20th century, many styles were influenced by the music of the United States, giving rise to genres such as Latin pop, rock, jazz, and reggaeton. Geographically, it usually refers to the Spanish and Portuguese-speaking regions of Latin America, but sometimes includes francophone countries and territories of the Caribbean and South America as well. It also encompasses Latin American styles that have originated in the United States, such as salsa and tango. The origins of Latin American music can be traced back to the Spanish and Portuguese conquest of the Americas in the 16th century, when the European settlers brought the music from overseas. Latin American music is performed in Spanish, Portuguese, and to a lesser extent, French. Popular music styles by country and territory. Argentina. The tango is perhaps Argentina's best-known musical genre, famous worldwide. Other styles include the chacarera, milonga, samba and chamamé. Modern rhythms include cuarteto and electro tango. Argentine rock was most popular during the 1980s, and remains Argentina's most popular music. Rock en español was first popular in Argentina, then swept through other Hispanic American countries and Spain. The movement was known as the Argentine Wave. Europe strongly influenced this sound as the immigrants brought the style of music with them. Bolivia. Bolivian music is perhaps the most strongly linked to its native population among the national styles of South America. After the nationalistic period of the 1950s, Aymara and Quechuan culture became more widely accepted, and the folk music evolved into a more pop-like sound. Los Llamas played a pivotal role in this fusion. Other forms of native music are also widely played. Cumbia is another popular genre. There are also lesser-known regional forms, such as the music from Santa Cruz and Tarija. Brazil. Brazil is a large, diverse country with a long history of popular musical development, ranging from the early 20th century innovation of samba to the modern musica popular brasileira. Bossa nova is internationally well known, and forró is also widely known and popular in Brazil. Lambada is influenced by rhythms like cumbia and merengue. Funk carioca is also a highly popular style. Chile. Many musical genres are native to Chile. One of the most popular was the Chilean romantic cumbia, exemplified by artists such as Americo and Leo Rey. The nueva canción originated in the 1960s and 1970s and spread in popularity until the 1973 Chilean coup d'etat, when most musicians were arrested, killed or exiled. In central Chile, several styles can be found: the cueca, the tonada, the refolosa, the sajuriana, the zapateado, the cuando and the vals. In the Norte Grande region, traditional music resembles the music of southern Peru and western Bolivia and is known as Andean music. This music, which reflects the spirit of the indigenous people of the Altiplano, was an inspiration for the nueva canción. The Chiloé archipelago has unique folk music styles, due to its isolation from the culture centers of Santiago and Lima. Music from Chilean Polynesia, Rapa Nui music, is derived from Polynesian culture rather than colonial society or European influences. Costa Rica. The music of Costa Rica is represented by musical expressions as parrandera, the tambito, waltz, bolero, gang, calypso, chiqui-chiqui, mento, the run, and calera. They emerged from the migration processes and historical exchanges between indigenous, European and African. Typical instruments of the Quijongard: marimba, ocarinas, ledroge, the sabak, reed flutes, accordion, mandolin and guitar. Cuba has produced many musical genres, and a number of musicians in a variety of styles. Blended styles range from the danzón to the rumba. Colombian music can be divided into 4 musical zones: the Atlantic Coast, the Pacific Coast, the Andean region, and Los Llanos. The Atlantic music features rhythms such as the cumbia, porros and mapalé. Music from the Pacific as such features rhythms such as the carulao, which is tinged with Spanish influence, and the jota chocana, tinged with African and Aboriginal influence. Colombian Andean has been strongly influenced by Spanish rhythms and instruments, and differs noticeably from the Indian music of Peru or Bolivia. Typical forms include the bambuco, paseo guabina and torbolino, played with pianos and string instruments such as the tibal guitarra. The music of Los Llanos, música clanera, is usually accompanied by a harp, a cuatro and maracas. It has much in common with the music of the Venezuelan Llanos. Apart from these traditional forms, 2 newer musical styles have conquered large parts of the country: la salsa, which has spread throughout the Pacific coast, and the vallenato, which originated in La Guajira and Ceuta. The latter is based on European accordion music. Merengue music is heard as well. More recently, musical styles such as reggaeton and back-to have also become popular. Dominican Republic merengue típico and orchestra merengue have been popular in the Dominican Republic for many decades, and is widely regarded as the national music. Back-to is a more recent arrival, taking influences from the bolero and derived from the country's rural guitar music. Back-to has evolved and risen in popularity over the last 40 years in the Dominican Republic and other areas with the help of artists such as Anthony Santos, Luis Segura, Luis Vargas, Teodoro Reyes, Yosca Sarante, Alex Bueno, and Aventura. Back-to, merengue and salsa are now equally popular among Spanish-speaking Caribbean people. When the Spanish conquistadors sailed across the Atlantic, they brought with them a type of music known as esparo, which contributed to the development of Dominican music. The romantic style is also popular in the Dominican Republic from vocalists such as Angela Carrasco, Anthony Rios, Dario Primero, Maradelu Hernandez and Olga Lara. Ecuador. Traditional Ecuadorian music can be classified as mestizo, Indian and black music. Mestizo music evolved from the interrelation between Spanish and Indian music. It has rhythms such as pasicals, pasillos, albazos and sanjuanitos, and is usually played by stringed instruments. There are also regional variations, coastal styles, such as vals, and Montevideo music. Indian music in Ecuador is determined in varying degrees by the influence of Quechua culture, within it of Sanjuanitos, Capuchcas, Danzantes and Yeravis. Non-Quechua indigenous music ranges from the Sachila music of Santo Domingo to the Amazonian music of groups such as the Shuar. Black Ecuadorian music can be classified into 2 main forms. The first type is black music from the coastal Esmeraldas province, and is characterized by the marimba. The second variety is black music from the Chota Valley in the northern Sierra, characterized by a more pronounced mestizo and Indian influence than marimba esmeraldina. Most of these musical styles are also played by wind ensembles of varying sizes at popular festivals around the country. Like other Latin American countries, Ecuadorian music includes local exponents of international styles, from opera, salsa and rock to cumbia, thrash metal and jazz. El Salvadoran music may be compared with the Colombian style of music known as cumbia. Popular styles in modern El Salvador are salsa, bachata and reggaeton. Political chaos tore the country apart in the early 20th century, and music was often suppressed, especially those with strong native influences. In the 1940s, for example, it was decreed that a dance called XUC was to be the national dance, which was created and led by Paquito Palavicini and his orchestra. International polio. In recent years, reggaeton and hip-hop have gained popularity, led by groups such as Pescozada and Make It. Salvadorian music has a musical style influenced by Mayan music. Another popular style of music not native to El Salvador is known as punta, a Belizean, Guatemalan and Honduran style. Some of the leading classical composers from El Salvador include Alex Panama, Carlos Colón Quintana, and German Caceres. French Guiana. Guatemala has a very long musical tradition. Haitian music combines a wide range of influences drawn from the many people who have settled on this Caribbean island. It reflects French, African rhythms, Spanish elements and others who have inhabited the island of Hispaniola and minor native Taino influences. Styles of music unique to the nation of Haiti include music derived from Vodou ceremonial traditions, rara parading music, to oubadou ballads, mini jazz rock bands, Racine movement, hip-hop Creole, the wildly popular compás, a merengue as its basic rhythm, evolving in Haiti during the mid-1800s. The Haitian merengue is regarded as the oldest surviving form of its kind performed today and is its national symbol. According to Jean Fouchard, merengue evolved from the fusion of slave music genres with ballroom forms related to the French Haitian contradance. Merengue's name, he says, derives from the mooring music of the Bara, a Bantu people of Madagascar. That few Malagasys came to the Americas casts doubt on this etymology, but it is significant because it emphasizes what Fouchard considered the African-derived nature of the music and national identity. Very popular today is compás, short for compass direct, a modern merengue made popular by Nemours Jean-Baptiste, on a recording released in 1955. The name derives from compás, the Spanish word meaning rhythm or tones. It involves mostly medium to fast tempo beats with an emphasis on electric guitars, synthesizers, and either a solo alto saxophone, a horn section of the synthesizer equivalent. In Creole, it is spelled as compa direct or simply compa. It is commonly spelled as it is pronounced as compa. Honduras. The music of Honduras varies from punta to Caribbean music such as salsa, merengue, reggae and reggaeton. Mexican ranchero music has a large following in the rural interior of the country. The country's ancient capital of Comayagua is an important center for modern Honduran music, and is home to the College for Fine Arts. Mexico is perhaps one of the most musically diverse countries in the world. Each of its 31 states, its capital city and each of Mexico City's boroughs claim unique styles of music. The most representative genre is mariachi music. Although commonly misportrayed as buskers, mariachis musicians play extremely technical, structured music or blends such as jarabe. Most mariachi music is sung in verses of prose poetry. Ranchera, Mexico's country music, differs from mariachi in that it is less technical and its lyrics are not sung in prose. Other regional music includes son derecho, son huasteco, cumbia sonidera, Mexican pop, rock en español, Mexican rock and canto nuevo. There is also music based on sounds made by dancing. Northeastern Mexico is home to another popular style called norteña, which assimilates emulates Mexican ranchera with Colombian cumbia and is typically played with Bavarian accordions and Bohemian polka influence. Variations of norteña include duranguense, tambora sinaloense, corridos and norte. The eastern part of the country makes heavy use of the harp, typical of the Son Derecho style. The music in southern Mexico is particularly represented by its use of the marimba, which has its origins in the Soconusco region between Mexico and Guatemala. The north-central states have recently spawned a tectonic-style music, combining electro and other dance genres with more traditional music. Martinique and Guadeloupe, Nicaragua. The most popular style of music in Nicaragua is palo de mayo, which is both a type of dance music and a festival where the dance originated. Other popular music includes marimba, punta, garifuna music, sonica, folk music, merengue, bachata and salsa. Panama. A popular style of music in Panama is Spanish reggae. Spanish reggae originated in Panama in 1977 and competes with reggaeton, having strong Puerto Rican influences such as bomba and plena, soca, salsa, bachata, and merengue can be heard as well throughout the nation. Other Hispanic and Latino styles are also heard, as well as Caribbean, salsa and West Indian music. Paraguayan music depends largely upon two instruments, the guitar and the harp, which were brought by the conquistadors and found their own voices in the country. Polka Paraguay, which adopted its name from the European dance, is the most popular type of music and has different versions. The first two are faster and more upbeat than a standard polka. The third is a bit slower and slightly melancholy. Other popular styles include the puarejo and the compuesto. The polka is usually based on poetic lyrics, but there are some emblematic pieces of Paraguayan music. Guarania is the second best-known Paraguayan musical style, and was created by musician José Asunción Flores in 1925. Peruvian music is made up of indigenous, Spanish and West African influences. Coastal Afro-Peruvian music is characterized by the use of the cajon peruano. Amerindian music varies according to region and ethnicity. The best-known Amerindian style is the huayno, played on instruments such as the carango and guitar. Mestizo music is varied and includes popular valses and marinera from the northern coast. Puerto Rico. The history of music on the island of Puerto Rico begins with its original inhabitants, the Tainos. The Taino Indians have influenced the Puerto Rican culture greatly, leaving behind important contributions such as the musical instruments, language, food, plant medicine and art. The heart of much Puerto Rican music is the idea of improvisation in both the music and the lyrics. A performance takes on an added dimension when the audience can anticipate the response of one performer to a difficult passage of music, a clever lyrics created by another. When two singers, either both men or a man and a woman, engage in vocal competition in musica jibara, this is a special type of piece called a controversia. Of all Puerto Rico's musical exports, the best known is reggaeton. Bomba and plena have long been popular, while reggaeton is a relatively recent invention. It is a form of urban, contemporary music, often combining other Latin musical styles, Caribbean and West Indies music, such as reggae, soca, Spanish reggae, salsa, merengue and bachata. It originates from Panamanian Spanish reggae and Jamaican dance hall, however received its rise to popularity through Puerto Rico. Tropicio is the fusion of R&B, rap, hip-hop, funk and techno music within a tropical musical frame of salsa, in which the conga drums and/or timbales drums are the main source of rhythm of the tune, in conjunction with the heavy salsa montuno of the piano. The lyrics of the song can be rapped or sung, or used combining both both styles, as well as danced in both styles. Aguinaldo from Puerto Rico, similar to Christmas carols, except that they are usually sung in a parranda, which is rather like a lively parade that moves from house to house in a neighborhood looking for holiday food and drink. The melodies were subsequently used for the improvisational decima and cease. There are aguinaldos that are usually sung in churches or religious services, while there are aguinaldos that are more popular and are sung in the parrandas. Danza is a very sophisticated form of music that can be extremely varied in its expression. They can be either romantic or festive. Romantic danzas have 4 sections, beginning with an 8-measure paseo followed by 3 themes of 16 measures each. The third theme typically includes a solo by the bombardino and often a return to the first theme or a coda at the end. Festive dances are free form, with the only rules being an introduction and a swift rhythm. Plena is a narrative song from the coastal regions of Puerto Rico, especially around Ponce, Puerto Rico. Its origins have been various, claimed as far back as 1875 and as late as 1920. As rural farmers moved to San Juan, Puerto Rico and other cities, they brought plena with them and eventually added horns and improvised call and response vocals. Lyrics generally deal with stories or current events, though some are light-hearted or humorous. Venezuela Clanera is Venezuelan popular music originating in the Llanos Plains. Although a more upbeat and festive gaita version is heard western Venezuela, there are also African-influenced styles which emphasize drumming and dance, and such diverse styles as music from the Guayana region and Andean music from Merida, Uruguay. Uruguayan music has similar roots to that of Argentina. Uruguayan tango and milonga are both popular styles, and folk music from along the River Plate is indistinguishable from its Argentine counterpart. Uruguay rock and canción are popular local forms. Candombe, a style of drumming descended from African slaves in the area, is quintessentially Uruguayan. It is most popular in Montevideo, but may also be heard in a number of other cities. Popular styles: nueva canción salsa, based on Cuban music in rhythm, tempo, bassline, riffs and instrumentation. Salsa represents an amalgamation of musical styles including rock, jazz, and other Latin American musical traditions. Modern salsa was forged in the Pan-Latin melting pot of New York City in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Tejano music may be categorized as a blend of country music, rock, and R&B. Born in Texas and performed in both Spanish and English with a variety of cultural influences. Most Tejanos today reside in South Texas and have a form of folk and popular music, greatly influenced by both traditional genres of Mexican music and mainstream genres of American music. Texan star Selena Quintanilla Perez is credited with bringing Tejano music to the forefront of popular music. The Tejano is a form of hip-hop dance. Reggaeton has become a Latin American phenomenon and is no longer classifiable as a Panamanian genre. It blends the Jamaican musical influences of reggae and dancehall and Trinidadian soca with Latin American music and American hip-hop and rap. The music is also combined with rapping, generally in Spanish. Latin ballad. The Latin ballad is a Latin musical genre which originated in the 1960s. This ballad is very popular in Hispanic America and Spain, and is characterized by a sensitive rhythm. A descendant of the bolero, it has several variants. Since the mid-20th century, a number of artists have popularized the genre, such as Julio Iglesias, Luis Miguel, Enrique Iglesias, Christian Castro, and José. Imported styles of popular music with a distinctively Latin flavor include Latin jazz, Argentine and Chilean rock, and Cuban and Mexican hip-hop, all influenced by styles from the United States. Music from non-Latin parts of the Caribbean are also popular throughout Latin America, especially Jamaican reggae and dub, Trinidadian calypso music and soca, flamenco, rumba, paso doble and fados from the Iberian Peninsula are well known due to the Iberian heritage in Latin America.